Now that I'm alone, I can say that I was wrong and that life doesn't always go the way we want. My name is Miller, and after a long time of being here, I thought about what I did. Since school, I had a close friend named Wilson. Wilson was my closest friend, but he was richer and more attractive. I admit that jealousy got the best of me, and over time, I grew to hate him, and we became enemies. After our problems began, there was a state of competition between us and everything, but the most important was Susan. Susan was the most beautiful girl in school, and I had loved her for a long time. My former friend Wilson encouraged me to talk to her because I was afraid to approach her, due to her father being one of the richest people in the city, but Wilson told me to be brave, and she became my girlfriend. But when Wilson became my enemy, I found out that he was trying to get her attention and saying bad things about me in school. I didn't care, and the years went by, we entered the university, and I was in the same university as Susan. At that moment, I was encouraged to introduce myself to her family, but they refused me harshly because of my financial situation. But her holding on to me allowed our relationship to continue for a while, but it started to deteriorate and Susan became discouraged by her family's disapproval, and our conversations and meetings became less frequent. One day I found out that Susan had a new friend, chosen by her family, and her boyfriend, as you expected, was the rich young man in town, Wilson. I didn't feel myself at that moment with anger and frustration, but I overcame my distraction when I learned that their marriage was approaching. One day, a wealthy young man who was a friend of Wilson and me visited the city, and he came from Silicon Valley with a new project that required a large investment. In the competition between me and Wilson, he always won, but this young man was winning against both of us. I learned that Wilson had met with this young man and agreed to invest his money with him with extreme happiness. He actually paid millions of his father's wealth and began working on the new project in its early stages, but one day, what I had been waiting for happened. Wilson woke up to shocking news. Our old friend from Silicon Valley had run away with the money, so Wilson's company stocks plummeted, and he was on the verge of bankruptcy. My plan went as I wanted. Yes, I didn't want to spoil it for you. That friend wasn't as rich as we thought and had never been to Silicon Valley. Based on my knowledge of Wilson and our previous friendship, he agreed to the scam and fled after receiving Wilson's secrets and those of his company, which I had access to. Happiness overwhelmed me, and I felt like I had taken revenge, seeing Wilson drowning. However, the mastermind behind what happened was discovered, and I was arrested. Now I'm spending years in prison. I can't deny that I feel a deep regret, because after being left alone, I felt that I had acted recklessly. One day, I saw Susan coming to visit me, and she told me that Wilson had left the city and decided to emigrate. She felt deeply betrayed by me, but she wanted to see me for the last time.